Looking back on the memory of the dance we shared beneath the stars above. For a moment, all the world was right. How could I have known that you'd ever say goodbye? And now, glad I didn't know the way it all would end, the way it all would go. Our lives are better left to chance. I could have missed the pain, but I'd have had to miss the dance. Holding you, I held everything, and for a moment, wasn't I the king? But if I'd only known how the king would fall, yeah, who's to say? You know, I might have changed it all. And now, glad I didn't know the way it all would end, the way it all would go. Our lives are better left to chance. I could have missed the pain, but I'd have had to miss the dance. Yes, my life is better left to chance. I could have missed the pain, but I'd have had to miss the dance.
Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. 'Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. 'Cause the drinks bring back all the memories, and the memories bring back your. There's a time that I remember when I did not know no pain, when I believed in forever and everything would stay the same. Now my heart feel like December when somebody say your name. 'Cause I can't reach out to call you, but I know I will one day. Hey. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. Hey, hey. But everything gon' be alright. Gonna raise a glass and say, hey. Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. 'Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. 'Cause the drinks bring back all the memories, and the memories bring back your. Memories bring back your. There's a time that I remember when I never felt so lost, and I felt all of the hatred was too powerful to stop. Now my heart feel like an ember, and it's lighting up the dark. I'll carry these torches for you, and you know I'll never drop. Yeah. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday, yeah, yeah. But everything gon' be alright. Gonna raise a glass and say, hey. Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here but you're not, 'cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way, 'cause the drinks bring back all the memories, and the memories bring back your memories bring back your memories bring back your memories bring back your. I get so lost sometimes. Days pass, and this emptiness fills my heart. When I want to run away, I drive off in my car. But whichever I come back to the place you are. All my instincts, they return. The grand facade so soon will burn. Without a noise, without my pride, I reach out from the inside. In your eyes, the light, the heat, I am complete. See the doorway, the thousand churches, the resolution of all the fruitless searches. Oh, I see the light and the heat. Oh, I wanna be that complete. I wanna touch the light, the heat I see in your eyes. Love, I don't like to see so much pain, so much wasted, and this moment keeps slipping away. I get so tired working so hard for our survival. I look to the time with you to keep me awake and alive. And all my instincts, they return. And the grand facade so soon will burn. Without a noise, without my pride,
down. I climbed a mountain and I turned around, and I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills. Well, the landslide brought me down. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can the child within my heart rise above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tides? Can I handle the seasons of my life? Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. But time makes you older, children get older. I'm getting older too. Well, well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. But time makes you older, children get older. I'm getting older too. Well, I'm getting older too. So take this love and take it down. Yeah, and if you climb a mountain and you turn around, and if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, well, the landslide brought me down. And if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, well, maybe, well, maybe, well, maybe the landslide will bring you down.
You'll remember me when the west wind moves upon the fields of barley. You'll forget the sun in his jealous sky as we walk in fields of gold. So she took her love for to gaze a while upon the fields of barley. In his arms she fell as her hair came down among the fields of gold. Will you stay with me? Will you be my love among the fields of barley? We'll forget the sun in his jealous sky as we lie in fields of gold. Years have passed since those summer days among the fields of barley. See the children run as the sun goes down among the fields of gold. You'll remember me when the west wind moves upon the fields of barley. You can tell the sun in his jealous sky when we walked in fields of gold. When we walked in fields of gold. When we walked in fields of gold. Just a touch, baby. I look around, see the city's cold and empty. No one's around to judge me. I can see clearly when you're gone. And I said, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. I said, drowning in the night. Oh, when I'm like this, you're the one I just. Hey, hey, hey. I'm running out of time, 'cause I can see the sun light up the sky. So I hit the road in overdrive, baby. Oh, the city's cold and empty. No one's around to judge me. I can see clearly when you're gone. And I said, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. I said, ooh, I'm drowning in the night. Oh, when I'm like this, you're the one I just. I'm just coming back to let you know I can never say it on the phone. They'll never let you go this time. I said, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. Hey, hey, I said, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch.
Well, you can tell everybody. Yeah, you can tell everybody. Go ahead and tell everybody. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Yes, I am, yes, I am, yes, I am. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. I believe every lie that never told. Paid for every heart that I ever stole. I played my cards and I didn't fold. Well, it ain't that hard when you got sold. This is my world. Somewhere I heard that life is a test. I've been through the worst, but I still give my best. God made my mold different from the rest. Then he broke that mold, so I know I'm blessed. Stand up now and face the sun. Won't hide my tail or turn and run. It's time to do what must be done. Be a king when kingdom comes. Well, you can tell everybody. Yeah, you can tell everybody. Go ahead and tell everybody. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Well, you can tell everybody. Yeah, you can tell everybody. Go ahead and tell everybody. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Yes, I am, yes, I am, yes, I am. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. I got all the answers to your questions. I'll be the teacher, you could be the lesson. I'll be the preacher, you be the confession. I'll be the quick relief to all your stressing. It's a thin line between love and hate. Is you really real or is you really fake? I'm a soldier standing on my feet. No surrender and I won't retreat. Stand up now and face the sun. Won't hide my tail or turn and run. It's time to do what must be done. Be a king when kingdom comes. Well, you can tell everybody. Yeah, you can
We come together here today because we are a community, and I welcome you to this celebration of life for Russell Warren. On behalf of Russ's family, I thank you for attending this service and sharing your time with them here today. Lisa, Alexa, and Cameron, may our love for you here today provide strength and peace. Nancy, Roger, Lori, and family, our thoughts and our prayers are with you today. We stand together in the embrace of grace that is within and beyond all of us. It's at times like these that we understand the importance of belonging, of togetherness and relationship. The power of community is in our gathering. As unspeakable as is the tragedy of a life cut short, the power of community is stronger than we know. What you've done by being here, by responding and offering your help in many varied ways, by your visits, your prayers, your social media messages of love and concern, your donations of money and food. You may think that's a small thing in the face of such a big loss, but it's what we do, and it means the world to this family. To be a part of a community is to do what we can, even if it's just showing up for them. It matters. This is a place like that. This is a community where we care for one another the best way that we know how. A community of people who support each other. This is us at our best. May we learn to live this truth more fully every day. And so, in a spirit of community, let us continue with our time of remembrance. Please pause with me. Divine love, wellspring of our existence, we gather to remember life. We gather to wonder about death. We gather to celebrate that love is with us every moment in this journey of life. Thank you for the ways Russ touched our lives, a son, a husband, a father, a colleague, a friend. And we appreciate the beauty of his life, his wisdom and gift of organization, the ways he touched our life with kindness and compassion, which made a difference, his love for travel, his love for the outdoors, the ocean, the mountains, the prairies, the work he gave to the London Stock Exchange and guidance to colleagues, his love for his family, and his decision to donate his organs so that others might continue in their journey of life. Be our light, source of life, and uphold Russ's loved ones here today and each day that comes. Sustain them in their journey of grief and bring them peace and comfort in the days to come. Hear our prayer. So I'm going to ask you, are you warm? Jack, will you turn the thing off? It's like we're at the beach, Lisa. Let us enjoy a song that's very meaningful to the family Into the West.
Lay down your sweet and weary head. Night is falling. You've come to journey's end. Sleep now. Dream of the one
ones who came before. They are calling from across a distant shore. Why do you weep? What are these tears upon your face? Soon you will see. All of your fears will pass away, safe in my arms. You're only sleeping. What can you see? On the horizon, why do the white gulls call? Across the sea, a pale moon rises. The ships have come to carry you home. Dawn will turn to silver glass, a light on the water, all souls pass, hope fades into the world of night, through shadows falling out of memory and time. Don't say we have come now to the end. White shores are calling. You and I will meet again, and you'll be here in my arms, just sleeping. What can you see? On the horizon, why do the white gulls call? Across the sea, a pale moon rises. The ships have come to carry you home. And all will turn to silver glass, a light on the water. Gray ships pass into the west.
My name is Lynn Makovica, and I am Lisa's sister and Cameron and Alexa's aunt. And I just want to thank everybody so much for being here today and for the outpouring of love and support that Lisa and the family has received during this time. It's been a really long 2.5 weeks, as most of you know from following along on Facebook or the GoFundMe page. So I just wanted to say a few things really quick, and then we have some other people that are going to come up and speak. And then Mallory and my niece Mallory and my sister Lori are both going to read a poem, one that Alexa chose and one that Cameron chose as well. So we'll do all of that during this time period right now. I want to remind everybody that Russ was in his favorite place with his favorite girl on January 18th when their lives all changed. One of his favorite movies was The Shawshank Redemption, and a quote from that movie is, "Get busy living or get busy dying." Russ definitely chose to get busy living. He chose to live life to the fullest. He loved to travel, and he brought that love to other people. My husband Brian and I have been honored to get to travel some places with Lisa and Russ and other people in this congregation as well. And Russ was always so excited to be able to say, "Ooh, I know where to go. I know what to do. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. You guys are going to love this." So it brought that love of travel to a lot of people. I got to be with Lisa in Mexico after this happened. I flew down to be with her a couple days after Russ had a stroke. And it was such an honor to be there with her and to see her love and to watch her support him and to struggle to support Cameron and Alexa from so far away. But it was my honor to see her and to see how strong she was and how brave she was and how she advocated for her husband. She fought for him. When things looked better on that Sunday, and we thought maybe things were taking a turn for the good, that night was very difficult because we found out that things had actually taken a very sharp turn for the worse. So Lisa and I had to tell Cameron and Alexa over Zoom what was happening with their father, and Lisa was so strong. Cameron and Alexa were so strong. Talking to the other family members, to Nancy, to Roger, and everybody in their side of the family. It was not easy, but thank you to Mallory, my niece, who was the one who was putting all the Facebook posts up so that people here knew what was happening, and Lisa didn't have to try and continuously repeat that in phone conversations, so that was very helpful. As you know, we're going to probably talk some more a little bit about Russ's donation of life. He was a very, very strong advocate of giving what he could to everybody. And in the end of his life, he gave to strangers to help support their lives as well. Lisa, Cameron, Alexa, you are stronger than you know. You are braver than you know. We're here for you and we love you. And Russ, thank you for the love that you gave to all of us.
Thank you all for being here today. My name is Steve Richley, and I am Russ's uncle. And I'd just like to say that Russ and I met about 60 years ago when I was young back then. I got the opportunity to leave the country, and I mean the country. What I mean by the country is a small country town in Cummings, Kansas, to go to Ozone, Arkansas, which is where my sister Nancy and her family lived. During that stay, I got the opportunity to watch nephew Russ for an afternoon while Mom and sisters Doris and Nancy stepped out. Well, I thought I could get Russ down for a nap, but he saw that coming from a mile away. Even faking a nap wasn't going to work on him, so I just gave up and we played the rest of the afternoon. But from that point on, we formed a bond, and I followed his career as it unfolded and tried to keep in touch as much as possible, either through family gatherings or just he and I, one-on-one, attending sporting events, hunting, and fishing. He liked the Kansas State Wildcats more than the Huskers, but because of Don, he enjoyed them both. Sorry, Roger, but once a wildcat, always a wildcat. He liked hunting and fishing as much as I did and was always up for going when I reached out or he'd reach out and say, when's the next time we're going fishing or hunting? We always had in-depth discussions about the stock market and finance because he enjoyed those, but above all, those trips, he understood the importance of just getting away from the numbers and just enjoying life and nature. He was all about family and was in many ways the patriarch of the family. Russ was always extremely positive, thoughtful, well-read, and tried to make a difference. He was like many of us in that he wanted to pay it forward, not just from money, but with kindness and experiences. He certainly made a difference in my life, and I'm sure that he made a difference for many of you that are attending today and online. Russ was definitely a competitor. You'll hear that several times. And it came out whether he tried to catch the biggest fish or playing cards with the family. On a Canadian fishing trip, we were in a pitch game with Verge and Russ. We're on the same team, and a classmate, roommate of mine, and I were on the other. Well, it was a booyah night for him and Verge. They won big, and they weren't shy about saying it. I think in talking with the family the last week, many of you have experienced that same booyah night with Russ. After a long day of hunting or fishing, he was ready to unwind and made one of the best gin and tonics that you could ever drink. Russ was always willing to learn. In fact, after watching me fillet several walleye fish in one of their first trips to Ontario, he said, "You mind if I try?" I said, "Go for it." He proceeded to take a 3-pound walleye and turn it into a couple of slivers. And we both had a big laugh, and I finished it up, but he never gave up. I firmly believe there's a lesson in there for all of us. Russ wasn't afraid to experience new things. I'm confident that some of them didn't work out as planned, but he learned from them anyway, and we can learn that from Russ. I will miss him, but the memories that we made together will comfort me all my days. Memories that you have of Russ, and hopefully will comfort you as well. I raise a glass of gin and tonic, whether here or at the bar later, but he was a great young man.
I'm Mallory Thompson, and I am a cousin of Cameron, and I'll be reading a poem that he chose for his dad. It's Poem for Dad in Heaven by Desiree Kuhn. I know this man who is dear to my heart. Suddenly one day it was all torn apart. This man taught me everything that I needed to know, but I never really listened until he had to go. He gave me a love and touched my life. It's all over now, he no longer has to fight. He tried to teach me right from wrong. The day he left, I wasn't that strong. He is gone now. It is hard to believe. This man is my dad, whom I will never see. But I will see him again, this I know. The day will come when it's time for me to go. So I'll hold him dear and close to my heart, 'cause the day we meet, I know we'll never be torn apart. Cameron, he loved you. He's proud of you, and he's watching over you.
I'm Lori Hartley. I'm Lisa's sister, Russ's sister-in-law, and Cameron and Alexa's aunt. And I'm reading a poem that Alexa chose for her dad. It's by Sarah Williams, and it's Deep Sea Surroundings. Mariner, what of the deep? This of the deep. Twilight is there and solemn, changeless calm. Beauty is there and tender, healing balm. Balm with no root in earth or air or sea. Poised by the finger of God, it floateth free. And as it threads the waves, the sound doth rise. Hither shall come no further sacrifice. Never again the anguished clutch at life. Never again great love and death in strife. He who hath suffered all need fear no more. Quiet his portion now forevermore. Mariner, what of the deep? This of the deep. Solitude dwells not there, though silence reign. Mighty the brotherhood of loss and pain. There is communion past the need of speech. There is a love no words of love can reach. Heavy the waves that superincumbent press. But as we labor here with constant stress, hand doth hold out to hand, not help alone, but the deep bliss of being fully known. There are no kindred like the kin of sorrow. There is no hope like theirs who fear no morrow. Mariner, what of the deep? This of the deep. Though we have traveled past the line of day, glory of night doth light us on our way. Radiance that comes we now know how or whence. Rainbows without the rain past duller sense. Music of hidden reefs and waves long past. Thunderous organ tones from far off blast. Harmony, Vitrix, throned in state sublime, couched on the wrecks, be gemmed with pearls of time. Never a wreck, but brings some beauty here. Down where the waves are still, the sea shines clear. Deeper than life, the plan of life doth lie. He knows all, fears not, great death shall die.
I'm Donna Richley, and my husband Steve just spoke a minute ago, and he's Russ's uncle, so that made Russ my nephew, but I also thought of him as a good friend too, and so I miss him right along with all of you. This reading, though, is actually written by Miriam Richley, Russ's cousin, and she asked me to read it today. We're here to celebrate the life of a wonderful man, my cousin Russ. What can I say about Russ? Quite a lot. He was a wonderful son, husband, father, brother, nephew, uncle, and cousin. The number one thing I know about Russ is that he loved his family. He loved everyone here today, Lisa, Alexa, Cameron, Aunt Nancy, Roger, his many nieces and nephews, uncles, in-laws, cousins. We're only 2 months apart in age. We spent our summers as kids with our brothers going to the Lake of the Ozarks with our folks. We spoke many times about swimming in crystal clear water down by Uncle Marvin and Aunt Nancy's place. Russ loved water even back then. We attended K-State University together. We loved going to the K-State Nebraska and the K-State KU football games, going to Arrowhead Stadium to cheer on the Wildcats. He would be so proud that our Wildcat men's basketball team is doing so well this year and that we even beat KU last month. We had a Richley cousin reunion weekend at my dad's home in February 2019. It was such a great time getting to spend the weekend with cousins that we normally only see at weddings and funerals. For those who were able to make it, we played pitch and enjoyed laughing and spending time together. Russ loved spending time with family. We had many conversations about the wonderful times he had spent with his uncles, Steve and Virgil, enjoying their many fishing and hunting trips together. He loved to come to KC and go to Somerset Winery, where we would play pitch, eat tapas from Carmen's food truck, and enjoy a beautiful day in Kansas. He loved the many family trips to the lake with the McCune Warren families, traveling with Lisa, enjoying the beach and drinking cocktails. What I will miss most about Russ is his laughter, playing pitch tournaments with him, Aunt Nancy, and Dad, determining which team was going to take the prize trophy home with him. Was the trophy going to Olathe, or was it going to stay in Overland Park? He loved music. He always had a great playlist on his phone. He would share some of his favorite songs when we played cards. I think there was a theme here about us playing cards. My boyfriend, Steve Swank, thinks it's an addiction. I tell him, though, that's just what the Richleys do. We play cards. I will greatly miss Russ. He was a foundation for me, someone I always looked forward to seeing and spending time with. May God bless all of us who knew and loved him. We know that one day we will be all together again. Love you forever, Russ. Your cousin, Miriam.
The words I'm about to read are from Russ's uncle, Virgil. How do you instill a lifetime of memories and experiences into a short eulogy? I'm so sad that I am unable to personally deliver this eulogy to honor this fine young man, as I am in Ormond Beach, Florida, this afternoon, and he knows if I were back home, I would be with him on this occasion. I have so many memories that will never be forgotten. I will always remember him, Roger, and his whole family coming to Leawood, Kansas to help me install a wooden rail fence around my property shortly after we moved there in 1977. He was always there for me if I needed him. The one attribute that really stands out in my memory is how lovingly he always treated his mother. He always traveled to be with her on her special occasions, such as her birthdays, Christmases, and other holidays that were meaningful in her life. I will always remember meeting him in his old home after traveling from Lincoln, Nebraska to Leavenworth, Kansas, following Marvin's death, and helping his mother prepare for a garage sale and displaying all his worldly possessions on tables in her garage and pricing the items in the preparation for the sale. My memories of our fly-in fishing trips to Canada on the English River system and fishing on Lake Francis Case in South Dakota will always be remembered. On my first fishing trip with him at an outpost in Canada, I hooked onto a 25-inch walleye, the largest one that I had ever caught in all the years I fished in Canada. I am so proud to say I was with him on that occasion. My memories of playing pitch with him on his many trips to visit his mother will live on in my memory. He was so competitive, and he had such an infectious laughter on occasions when he would beat you. I would like to end my eulogy with one of my favorite Bible scriptures that is recorded in John 11:25 and 26. Jesus had just resurrected his dear friend Lazarus, and he was talking to Martha, his sister. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. Those who believe in me, even though they die, will live, and everyone that lives and believes in me will never die. I hope this passage gives those here today that believe in the resurrection comfort. I know it does me. Love you, Russ. Uncle Virgil. And Cameron, just to share, at Christmas had started acquitting himself in a very good way as far as Russ could be proud in pitch.
My name's Mike Richley, and Aunt Nancy asked me to read this for her. I'm a first cousin to Russ. Russell was the only man I ever knew who could work the whole crossword puzzle in the New York Times. So I always wanted him to go on to Jeopardy. The times he and I watched it together, he answered a lot of the questions. Says, I remember when Russell and Donald were 2 and 4, I took them to Kittyland and I bought a bunch of tickets. And the first ride they wanted to go on was the boat ride. Donald fell in the water and we had to go home to change his clothes. But we went back, and I told this memory to Russell a few days ago, and my Jenna was in the room. She says, you went back? I said, well, yes, you know how frugal I am. Russell always thought that was a good trait I had. It was a good trait of mine, and it was always, also, it was something he could make fun of. So I told Russell about the time Virgil and I went to the Wildcats football game. It was so hot, and I was contemplating paying $5 for a glass of lemonade. Russell said, well, it must have been really, really hot if you were going to spend $5 for a glass of lemonade. When our Donald passed away almost 14 years ago this June, which was a very sad time, so in October, Russell called and wanted to ease my pain. He, Cameron, and I went to New York City. We did have a great time, seeing the sights, going to Broadway shows, fine dining, along with some pizza. The first night we went to the Bluefin, I ordered the special, which didn't even cover the center of the plate. And I paid $27 for it. I looked at Russell and I said, this was the special? He said, Mom, you're in New York City. He was my hero. I miss him so much already. Russell, I will miss your hugs, your FaceTime calls, your visits, your love, and you. Love you forever, Mom.
from 1 Corinthians. Love is patient, love is kind, love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way, it is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in the wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. Love never ends. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then we will see face to face. Now I know only in part, then I will know fully, even as I have been fully known. And now faith, hope, and love abide, these three, and the greatest of these is love.
So, some things that about Russ. Notice he was born on 11/16/61, all sixes and ones, and he died at 61. Lisa and Russ were married in this church on March 18th, 1989. Russ was born in Atchison, Kansas, grew up in Leavenworth, and went in the summers and spent time with his paternal grandparents in Arkansas. He received a scholarship to play football at Benedictine College, which is in Atchison, and then later went to Kansas State University. By the way, Donna, I went to KU, so I didn't appreciate that comment. It's going to be quite a year. Russ graduated from Leavenworth, and a claim to fame of that is he went to school with Melissa Etheridge. Whenever we gather to celebrate the life of a loved one, we ponder life's eternal questions, and that is, what's the meaning of life? Why are we here? What happens when we die? Where do we go when we die? One prominent thinker who grew up in Nebraska and who was a historian at the University of Chicago answered that question with a simple word: love. Love. Love is the essence of who I am, said Dr. Marty, and the meaning of life is to love and to be loved. And I often tell people we were born in love and we die in love. Miriam read that beautiful scripture from 1 Corinthians, and we hear the words at funerals and at weddings. Now faith, hope, and love abide, these three, and the greatest of these is love. I like verse 12 at the end. And when we were sitting around the table talking the other night at Lisa's, it said, "For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then we will see face to face. Now I know only in part, but then I will know fully, even as I have been fully known." We don't spend as much time with those words as we do now faith, hope, and love abide, these three, and the greatest of these is love. Because we're not sure of what those words mean. What do they mean now, for we see in a mirror dimly? I think it just simply means there is more to ourselves and our lives than we can ever imagine. There is more. And so when we leave this place today, family and friends, there's three words I want you to take with you. There is more. That's what we will take with us. There is more is the call to embrace the mystery and the beauty in life that is all around us. Russ was an adventurer, a traveler, and I love the little insert into the bulletin that describes all the travels that his family embarked upon. He enjoyed travel with the London Stock Exchange. He enjoyed traveling to Colorado, to Canada, fishing with Cameron and with Steve and Virgil. He loved jet skiing and boating in the Lake of the Ozarks at that dam place. We didn't really we didn't know which dam it was, so we just called it the dam place. Lisa remembered a conversation that she had on the beach with Russ at Puerto Vallarta shortly before his stroke. And Russ expressed that he had been totally fulfilled with their place in Mexico, that this was just where we needed to be, and life couldn't get any better than this. 4 years ago, Russ, Lisa, Lynn, Brian, and some other members of Bethany Christian Church, and then some of Chris and my family went to Israel to tour the Holy Land. And Nancy, Russ said to me, I don't know if he ever said this to you, but he said, I'm going to take my mom there afterwards. It was a beautiful experience for all of us, and I still remember Russ floating in the Dead Sea and talking with all of us there together. It was kind of a cool experience. We went to the Jordan River, where many ancient baptisms took place, including Jesus. Not exactly the place that we were at, but it was in the Jordan. And so Russ went and stuck his feet in the water, I remember, and so I was milling about, and when we were getting ready to leave, Russ came over and whispered, he said, Daryl, I've had a mystical experience. And it was an experience that he later shared with, I think, some of the members on our trip. And then it was off to Italy. Russ was gifted with technology, and if you look around, none of us are wearing masks. But 2 years ago, we probably would have had a hard time gathering here in this moment. And during COVID, Russ helped us set up some technology that was able to record first with a camera, and then Zoe would put it on Facebook so we could send our services out to our congregation and to the wider community. Russ was a mentor to young people in business. And Lori said that was clear when Mallory set up the GoFundMe page, how many people would respond and appreciated Russ's work and mentoring of them. Sometimes in humble moments, Russ would walk around the house and joyfully exclaim, "People just love me." Russ did love to work with people and to help get a deal put together, a project, and then to see it completed. He loved his children dearly. Alexa and Cameron told me that their dad would say to them when they were young, he would come up and says, "I want to tell you a secret," and then whisper in their ear, "I love you." And then when they grew older, he would say, "You're a good kid. I don't care what your mother says." Alexa describes her dad as a pillar of the family. Cameron says Dad was so very generous, and he helped some of my cousins in their difficult times. Alexa loved the talks that she had with her dad. She said he liked to get to know people in non-serious ways. He would say, "Let's go to a bar and talk." He appreciated the honesty in people, even if he disagreed with them about things like politics and business deals or religion. Alexa's bond with her dad was so special that she read the entire book. I'm very impressed. Alexa, I think you ought to go into major in English or literature, because this past week, you are so well read. But she read to her dad The Hobbit in the hospital room there during the nights. She read from the book that Russ gave to her when she was in middle school, and then she placed the character Gollum underneath his arm to hold on to that whole week. Imagine reading the whole book to him at nighttime, in the middle of the night. We've heard about one movie that Russ liked, and that was The Shawshank Redemption. There was another movie that he liked called It's a Wonderful Life. Lisa was reminded of that movie when the love and the support, the financial donations started to pour in to help with the medical evacuation. It was indeed the hardest of weeks for this family, for Lisa, for Lynn and Brian, who were there to help her. In that movie, there's a character named George, and George did everything he could to help the people of the town, to save the town, and he gave all of his money away to help save them. And at the end, George's home is foreclosed. And the townspeople come to George's rescue, and they gave money, enough money so that George could save their home. And Lisa told me that she felt a little bit like George. People coming together to help in a time of crisis. That's what life is all about. There is more. There is more to our lives than we can ever imagine. What strength rises up within us when the gift of love is all around us. Russ gave his life even toward the end. On the final day of his life, the doctors and the surgeons gathered at Bryan West in order to retrieve the organs of his body to transplant to other people so that they could be saved. A woman of 68 years old was waiting for a liver. The doctors wanted to know something about this person that they would be operating on. And so while in the operating room and prepping him, the doctors were presented with a statement called a moment of silence. And this is what was read to these doctors. Lisa had written this. Today we share a common space and common cause to honor the gift of life given by Russ Warren. These thoughts and memories were shared by Lisa and family. Russ is a beautiful soul. He has been deeply devoted to his wife and 2 children. His extended family knew they could always count on him no matter what they were dealing with. He loves to sweep in and save the day. His job title is even solutions consultant. Working for the London Stock Exchange, he helped people throughout the globe, and took great pride in what he did. Russ had a great passion for travel and experiencing other cultures. If he could indulge his love of the ocean along the way, he was even happier. He was planning to dive the Great Barrier Reef next year. Thank you for helping Russ with his last selfless act, saving the day alongside Russ. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes and relax your shoulders. Breathe in deeply. Breathe out gently. Lisa and Russ are on the beach in Puerto Vallarta. The sun was shining. The ocean waves were rolling into shore and back out again. Lisa rested her head in the shade and felt the warmth of the sun on her stomach. everything was perfect. Total relaxation. This was the right time and the perfect moment. When Russ put the earbuds in her ears and played their favorite song, Annie's song, "This is Love."
You fill up my senses like a night in a forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again. Come, let me love you, let me give my life to you. Let me drown in your laughter, let me die in your arms. Let me lay down beside you. Let me always be with you. Come, let me love you. Come, love me again. Like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again.
The family invites you to a reception in the fellowship hall. I will lead the family first into the fellowship hall. We do have a lift, and if anyone needs to go up, please wait. We will assist you up on the lift. As we go from this place, may you find comfort in one another. May the spirit of life and hope energize and emerge in your lives in the days ahead. Embrace love in your tenderness, in your care, and in your generosity. Peace, peace be with you.